And welcome back to the Survive Scale Soar podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy. Just a quick reminder, this show comes in two formats. Real talk, where it's just me and the mic sharing 21 years of experience in building businesses. The second format is Success Talks. That's where I get to interview top individuals in their respective industry, and they share with you what has made them successful in the journey to get there. Today, I have two amazing guests. It's a husband and wife real estate team. I also am honored to be in a partnership with them and growing our organization within JLA Realty. It's Theresa and Robby Almogabar and the Almogabar team. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
I'm really excited about having y'all. It's been such a wild ride just in the short amount of time getting to know y'all, knowing what you've done in your business. And I want to take the listener back to the beginning. Y'all have been in this business for quite a while now. Tell me the story about how you got into real estate and what was the decision to build a team.
Sure. Well, started in 98. I wanted to do something different. My dad worked for a company called Enron, and I was able to see a little bit about, what happened with that. He was great. He had a great person, great everything. Just the company putting all his eggs in one basket made me decide that I wanted to diversify and do something a little bit different, go into entrepreneurship direction, have more control of my time, my money, everything. And then in 2004, you came on board.
No, '02.
'02, because we're having our second child. And what was the most important thing about that? You wanted to what?
Oh, I always just wanted, my mom was there every day when I got off the bus. So I wanted to be there when my kids got off the bus. And so I was working for a shipping company and doing all of their billing and whatnot. So that was in, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And I just didn't want to be chained to a desk. That was just not for me.
Yeah, and before you keep going with the story, I think that's an amazing reason to get into the business. A lot of people, they look at, how can I gain control of my time? Doesn't mean that you're going to work less. Doesn't mean that's still not going to be hard. Yet it gives you the power to be able to make those decisions, like being there for your family when you want to be.
Right. Yeah. And that was just my main purpose. That was important to me.
So y'all started.
Oh, go ahead.
So y'all started this team, and so now you've got two realtors in the house. Tell us about that. How does that work?
Surprisingly, we don't talk a lot about real estate at home. I mean, our kids know what we do. They all have the HAR app downloaded onto their phones. They search houses in their spare time. But we just do what we need to do. There's really I don't know. We don't talk a lot about real estate around the kitchen table unless we have a really crazy story or something to share with each other.
Yeah, pretty simple. She runs her business, I run my business, and now we run it together because we also have a great executive assistant, Gabrielle,
Yes.
who kind of puts it all together, keeps it together.
And building the team was really something that was important just because as we grew, we wanted a little bit more flexibility, and we wanted to be able to take a vacation and know that our clients were still being taken care of. And so that was one of the reasons we decided, as our kids got older and we wanted to take vacations, we wanted to go out and do things, we wanted to just leverage ourselves some. And so building the team was just something that just came naturally for us. So we started a while back and, trained up agents and had them help us when we were out of town. And so it's just kind of grown from there.
And it really wasn't until about 20 years later in the business, started in 98. It wasn't until 2018 when we decided to build a team. And one day I was reading a book and had all the different levels of being in the business, being a real estate business. And I was looking at it, I said, oh my gosh, we are on level 1, and we've been on level 1 for the last 20 years. So the next level was to get an admin, then get a showing agent, then get, just go on from there. And so within, months, we were already at level 3, We had agents and we had an admin, and then we went to level 4. So we knew we had to change, or else all we're going to do is work, 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 which we don't think we'll ever stop working, but wanted to work a little bit easier and be able to bless others in the process, and then eventually teach them how to build businesses.
I want to go back. I heard something there that Teresa was talking about. Like once y'all get home, y'all really don't talk about real estate. And I think that's really important, being able to separate your work from your family life. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Um, we have 3 kids. Our kids, our oldest is married now, and our youngest just got his license yesterday. So, being present with our family is important. And at the kitchen table, our kids are not in the real estate industry, although our son says he does want to get into real estate. It's important for us to just remember, to talk about things that are important to our kids too. And so, although real estate is what we do for a living, it is not our world. We have family, we have our children. We just have just the everyday stuff that everybody else has. And, we wanted to make sure that our kids knew that, they were a priority even before our real estate. So, we do turn it off now. We will lay in bed at times and talk about, what do we have to do tomorrow and whatnot, just like everybody else does. So real estate comes up, but, for the most part, we really try to keep it, during business hours, and, just so that way we can have some separation. We're together all the time. So we know what's kind of going on in each other's businesses, but for the most part, I have my clients and Robby has his.
And sometimes we have the same, she'll have the buyer and I'll have the listing or the seller. That's kind of awkward, but it's we still do it.
Is that where y'all go to the opposite ends of the house until the transaction's done?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll tell him, I need you to step outside. I need to talk to my client, or I'll step outside and he can, so we do give each other that space. So we make sure to keep those things separate. So
We go back on the computer negotiating.
and we'll email each other, and, I'll tell him, here's my client's response. And, we just have to keep it professional.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you brought up, is being able to have that time to spend with your kids, because I see so many real estate agents, once they get in, they get sucked into it, and they're 100% real estate, and they don't realize all those relationships around them that they still need to maintain. And I think that's a beautiful thing to share, that it's bigger than real estate. So you leverage with the team. You'll have one licensed assistant and 3 licensed agents on the team. How has that changed the way that you look at your business and the growth that's happening?
So our leverage is really important. I guess, the main part is that it allows us to be able to teach them while they're learning, as they're going on as well. So having agents on our team helps us to, then share our knowledge, and it's a factor of duplication.
It makes it fun too, because you have a group of people. So it's not just us talking real estate during the day. It's our other agents. We're pouring into them. They're able, if we have a buyer, if we have multiple buyers and 3 buyers want to see a house in one day, it's okay. Hey, we have Josie, Sil, Cullen, we can eat, ourselves, we can, split it up. So it makes it a lot easier to help those clients. And I think the clients appreciate it as well, because then it's not like they're on our timeline. Whenever you want to see the house, you let us now. Obviously, give us some time. We got to be reasonable. Can't go in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We're not that agent, and we don't want to become that agent. There is a system in place. Obviously, we have to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row, like the IBS sign, the buyer rep sign, all those different things. But for the most part, having the team and the leverage makes it a lot easier, makes it easier on them. Even when, like, we have 2 agents who are on vacation right now and they have a closing coming up, but we're able to step in and take those calls and make sure everything, that the closing goes smoothly, and vice versa, because we've been on those vacations where Oh my God, just take it. Are you really on vacation? You're just in a place with a pretty pool and a pretty beach, but you're still taking phone calls. And I remember the first time, I think it was Tina Scully, one time she was filled in for us. Oh my goodness, that's when we realized we really needed an assistant because she was able to take those calls and we could, enjoy our vacation. It was like, wow, we can actually put the phone down. Having a team definitely relieves pressure, that mental pressure that builds up when you think, oh, I just got to be here for everybody, and calm down. Somebody will take care of that.
Yeah, you probably have some people that are listening on this call, and maybe they've been in that position where they too have been in the business for a long time. What was that final decision or that thought that came into your mind that was like, okay, I'm ready to take it to the next level?
Yeah. Taking it to the next level, that thought was really the end game. If we keep going the way we're going, we're gonna get burnt out. We're going to, I mean, just work, 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 work. And even though we get to choose the hours we want to work and all that, it's gonna be a lot of pressure. Because I want to enjoy my time with my wife. My priority is Theresa. Okay. And then yes, we have little ones, but they came after her, so she's priority. And so and we don't want to, when I spend time with her, I want to be present. But also, so that end game is how do I do that? And it's with the team. It's with, knowing business is still going to carry on. Money's still going to be coming in because we're treating it like a business. If I don't show up, the business is still going. And that's really what we wanted to get to, because there's other things that we want to accomplish as well. And in order to do those, we have to get it to where at least it's on autopilot, even just a little bit.
Yeah, I know y'all like fast cars, so there's always opportunity to grow there, right?
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
I want to ask you all this separately because I think there's going to be a couple different answers here. So we'll start with Theresa. What is the biggest challenge you faced while in the business, either in the business itself or in life that's impacted your business that you've overcome?
Um, I guess the biggest challenge, I would say just personally, I had some health issues a few years back and having to go through that and really almost give my business to other people to handle. I'm a little bit of a control freak. And so letting go was really the hardest part, was to know that, I have to have trust in other people. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to. So being a, so that was the hard part, but then that was also the best part, was that I could let go and know that everybody was being taken care of and that I didn't have to stress about it. So, but just the letting go, as you know, though we've always worked together, Robby was in new home sales for a little bit. So I did everything on that end of it, on the resell end. And so being able to just let go of things was really hard for me. So once I was able to do that, then it became a lot easier.
And it probably serves you to this day, right?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Robbie, what about you? What's the biggest challenge, whether business or life, but that it impacted your business?
The biggest impact was my dad passing away. I had my license, or I have, I've had it since 98, but when the market changed in '08, then I kind of backpedaled and went back into new home sales and just, I was selling new homes the day he passed away. And all I wanted to do that one day when I found out he went to the hospital was just to get there in time to see him one more time, just to say, Dad, I'm here. I love you. And just I'm here. I want to be present. That morning he got to see all the kids. Teresa made pancakes and they went to his house. And but that day, I was in traffic trying to get there, and God, please let me just get there just to see him one more time. And I didn't get that chance. He died before I got there. And then I kicked myself, like, I should have already done this, should have done that. Then I realized, everything is as it should be. but I am, still have my mom here. I'm gonna, have family here. So it took that to really say, you know what? No more new home sales. In fact, that day, I never went back to the office. I called him, said, I'm not coming back. That's just, I'll pick up my stuff, but I'm not coming back. I had to reactivate my license. And so this is about 2015. Well, he died in 2014, but just shortly after that, I ended up getting my license back. And then we just, you know, partnered up together, Theresa and I. And I'm thinking, wow, what if we'd have done that 2000? But either way, it took that moment to really just, poop or get off the pot working together. We just said, let's go together. And we did, and put our heads together, started working it as a business. Don't wish that on anybody. It was a sad thing, but it is also one of those points in our life where everything just changed from that point on.
Yeah, that's really powerful. And Robby, he's sitting there smiling down on you and Theresa, and knowing that, in that lesson, right, you've realized the importance of that. It changed everything for you. Changed everything for your family. And that's really, really powerful. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Um, I'm a brand new agent. I'm getting into this business. I don't know what I don't know. I went to my classes over at Champions Real Estate School, and I think I know everything. And I'm coming out to the world. What piece of advice would you give them to get started in their journey to be a successful real estate agent?
You go on, you give yours.
Mine is know your contracts. I I have had many instances where I can almost immediately tell when a brand new agent is going against me in a listing. And if we get back into the market where homes are flying off the shelves, the new agents are the ones that just kind of get pushed by the wayside because they just don't know what they're doing. You just know your contracts. I always tell our new agents, write out a bunch of contracts, just find 5 properties and just write your contracts over and over and over again. And you should know every aspect of your buyer's rep, your 1 to 4, your listing agreements. If you don't know every aspect of it, you can explain it to somebody. You have no business writing them. So I've had instances, where it's a brand new agent and they didn't know that they didn't put an option period, or they didn't put days in third-party financing, and my seller just got $5,000 of earnest money, and I'm sorry for you, but it is what it is. You wrote a contract. So know your contracts. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were having a conversation with our broker yesterday, and he was sitting down. He goes, the biggest thing is not just knowing your contracts, but knowing why. Why are you putting that number into that blank? What does that do? How does it protect your client? It's not just about filling it out, right? The template. So powerful stuff. What about you, Robby? Brand new agent, doesn't know what they don't know. What do you tell them?
You've got to have that grand opening. You have to do a launch party. Whether, I don't know, there's many ways you can do one, but do a launch party. I don't care even if you've been in the business a long time. We had a brand new launch party in 2018 or 19. And but you can do one. Just you got to invite your friends and family. If you have a restaurant, it's a restaurant analogy. You're opening up a brand new restaurant. Get your friends and family out there first. Do a grand opening with them. Anybody anybody in your telephone, your database, people you went to school with, people you go to church with. Anyway, just put those people in there, invite them out, and and then do something, either feed them or you got to do something. Have a launch party, get them there, make it fun, and then that's going to be your people. Those people are going to go and give the word out about your business, because you are going to need referrals. So you want people who will send your name out to their friends.
Yeah, it's not about being a secret agent. And I appreciate you sharing that. You could be an agent in the business for a long time. You could still have a launch party or relaunch party. It's about letting people know what you can do for them. and really, really important. I've had the blessing to have you all partner with me, and I'm really excited about that. You've come from a large real estate brokerage here in the Houston area, and you made the decision to move over and join my organization here at JLA. And there's a lot of great things coming. What was the driving force of that decision?
Driving force was that y'all are expanding. Um, kind of, tested the waters a little bit before coming, got to see who's here. And really the thing that got me was, wow, I could really pour in. Not that I know everything, but I my passion is coaching and seeing people win. When I go fishing, I I don't I can be the guy, you can be next to me and you catch the big fish. I am just as excited that that fish was caught and I didn't even catch it. But I really love helping other people be able to catch those fish. And what that fish means is just winning. Doesn't mean they've because you just got to sell. No, it could be, hey, you nurtured a relationship, or you just poured into somebody, gave them the right advice. Um, it's just being there for somebody, being present. When we started in the company a long time ago, many people held the ladder for us. Meaning they poured into us. We asked questions. They gave us advice. Don't try this. And then I tried it. And then I realized I shouldn't have tried it because I just wasted money. Should have just listened to them. So I realized, okay, listen to them. Quit wasting money, quit wasting time. And so they were pouring into us. So now what we want to do is we want to hold the ladder for other people. And when I realized that you were, expanding here in Texas, like, this is perfect. Um, so the main reason was to be able to utilize, our talents, which I think is, helping people do well in real estate. Theresa knows her contracts. And when you go to one of her classes, oh my gosh, it's like, wow. I mean, yeah, I didn't know that, and it's the same contract that everybody has, but you have to know it. So she has, great, she teaches well, coaches well. And I think just the big thing here was that y'all had room for that.
I love that. Teresa, what got you to make the move?
I really just liked the genuineness of, being able to chat with you on multiple occasions and then being able to talk to John. Just also the willingness to kind of see what our vision was, and the willingness to, the answer is yes, do it, and we really liked that. We really just felt like this was a good direction for us, business wise, but also just personally to have that one-on-one relationship. We had other relationships where, in our previous brokerages as well. So, but this just felt like the next step for us. And, just the ability to, like Robby said, to expand our reach as well for our knowledge. It's good to know all of these things, but then it's also good to just teach someone else and let them be successful and celebrate other people's successes. And so, that's really more of what we were attracted to.
And I think the big thing too was John is on the call. You can hear John twice a week. Where else do you hear a CEO of a company, giving advice to his agents twice a week? I mean, it probably happens, but it's not very common. And then so he has a mentorship call, and then you coach, and agents have access to that without having to cut back on their commissions. That's unheard of. So that was a big thing for me. I said, oh wow, they're coaching, they're doing this, we can add this. So I just saw there's a great there's room for great partnership to really help agents coming on board.
Yeah, what attracted me to y'all, and you hit this, Teresa, was authenticity. The first time I sat down with y'all in person, just it being an authentic, real conversation, and that's a big part of the culture of what I'm working to build, and it just fit so perfectly. And you look at any of the members that are in our organization, they're the same way. Y'all have been on the calls, and some of the conversations that we've had, they're real conversations. They're not these surface level things, or hey, I just want to look good on the call. No, they're real life things, and that's what attracted me to y'all. And I'm super honored and excited about what's ahead. And speaking of what's ahead, I think it's important for agents on this call, or if you're a small business owner that's listening to this call, is having vision. Tell me what you think your vision is for the direction that you're going now. Where do you see yourself 3, 5 years out?
So coaching again, have been able to be present with an agency. We want to grow an agency to over 2,000 real estate agents, being able to pour into them, and help them grow teams. Um, so really, I mean, it's just being present with our agents.
And multiple cities, that was the big thing also for us was the ability for expansion. Not only did we want to have referral partners in other cities, we wanted to mentor agents in other cities. So that if we did want to drive out to New Orleans and have some beignets over the weekend, we could then also coach some agents and help them to build their teams and their organizations in other places. And so it just became and something natural for us to be able to, not only expand the Houston area, but also to expand into other parts of Texas. Our state is massive, so we want to have a massive presence throughout the whole state.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Go ahead.
I said, and the other states.
Yes, and other states too. It's exciting. There's some big announcements coming. So, yeah, what's unique to our organization is there's organizations with JLA that are brick and mortar and they're in one place. Our organization, we're all across Texas. In fact, we're working on building a boot camp down in Corpus Christi. And like you were sharing, it's an opportunity to be able to go experience new places, pour into agents that are there, help them be successful, build those relationships. And that's what this is all about, is building real, true, authentic relationships and helping people climb that ladder that you're talking about. If you were to leave one piece of advice that maybe you thought about as you're going and you're like, oh, I wish I would have said that. If there's one piece of advice you could give today for those that are listening on the call, what would it be?
Treat real estate like a business, and you'll reap the rewards of a business. If you think of yourself as self-employed, there's a big difference between being self-employed and a business owner. So, be a business owner, treat it like a business, spend your time wisely, and you'll reap the rewards.
That's the biggest thing would be time management. Make sure you're spending that time properly. Devote however many hours you're going to give the real estate, give it. Give it up. Whatever, if it's going to be 2 hours a day, give 2 full hours. Give 4 hours, whatever it's going to be. And then whatever you're going to give to your family, make sure you're present. Separate those two, because you can have a business. If you don't have a family, well, doesn't mean this isn't just for people that are married or have kids, but whatever is important to you, whatever's important to you outside real estate, make sure you're still, you have time for that and this. But that would just be,
be intentional.
Yeah, intentional with your time.
That's amazing advice. Well, Robby and Theresa, thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I know y'all are really busy, but I think that the message that you shared here with the people that are going to be listening to this, there's going to be more than one thing they could take away and implement, either into their business or in life. If somebody hears your message today, they want to reach out to you and learn more about what you're doing or more about the opportunity that you're building through JLA, what is the best way to reach you?
I'd call us 832-377-1849. If we don't answer, we will call you back. But it hits both our numbers. When you dial that number, it rings Theresa's phone and my phone. So we should be able to pick up.
All right. Well, Theresa, Robby, thank you again. Thank you for being on the show and for all that you do and contribute to helping agents climb that ladder.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy.
All right. Until next time, onward and upward.